This video is sponsored by Black Mountain Picks. What makes a song live forever? To me, it comes down to the melody. I mean, a good melody can be dressed up in a million different ways, tons of different styles, and it still holds up. Think about how many different styles you've heard songs like Amazing Grace in, or St. James Infirmary. These songs will last forever, due in large part to their beautiful melody. So simple, yet so powerful. You'll hum them all day long after hearing one of these tunes. And to me, the same is true of a simple melody written by a teenager in the early 1900s. Of course, I'm talking about Freight Train by Elizabeth Cotten. As a fingerpicker, this simple melody certainly gets a little more complicated to play on the guitar when you add an alternating bass line underneath it. So here's a stripped down version of the song to help you get going with that beautiful melody and some cool fingerpicking. We're playing this with C in mind. That's the key of the melody, the key that we're playing this in. But we're not basing our stripped down version of Freight Train around this C chord. Close, but what we're going to do is place the C over G. So we're dropping down to the 6th string 3rd fret here. And our alternating bass is going to be 6th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string, completely throughout this entire first phrase. What we're going to do is pinch on beats 1 and 3 for the first couple of measures. We're going to start by pinching the outer 2 strings. So we're going to pinch the 3rd fret on the 1st string along with the bass at the 3rd fret 6th string. 1, 2, we got to keep that bass going. So then pick up and play the open 1st string, 3, 4. As a pinch right on top of the beat. Then for the next measure, we're going to target the 2nd string a little bit. So we're going to hit the 3rd fret on the 2nd string for a D note. Same bass, so 6th string, 4th string. Then drop the melody down to C, 1st fret, 2nd string, 3, 4. Then we keep moving. We pinch with the open B note here with our bass, but we got to pick up and play the open 4th string here, right? So we've kind of shifted from thinking C to more G, right? So we've got the open with the bass, 2, 3, back to the outer 2 strings at the 3rd fret, and then finally beat 4 is the open 4th string, and then we're dropping down to the 1st fret. That's an F note that gives us the real G7 sound here. And then finally we hold that and then just go bass, 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 bass. And that's the first phrase. The next part is very similar. We've got a lot of the alternating bass happening on 6 and 4. Actually, it happens for all of these 4 measures. The melody, however, changes. We're starting here, but then we drop down to that F note, then the open, but you'll find that the picking happens in the same spot rhythmically, but we are going to change the chords up a little bit. So let's dig into that. We've got this pinch, then the open 4th string for the bass, because we're thinking G here. So 1, 2, the G7, 3, 4, and then we're going to move into a different form of G7. So we're going to pinch the outer 2 strings open first, that is, along with the 6th string, 3rd fret. But notice how I've got my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. That's an F note that gives us a cool G7 sound here. And we use that in the bass line. We're still doing 6th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string here. The melody, we're still pinching on beats 1, 2, and 3, For beat 3, the melody came down to the D. This is a cool measure, and it takes a minute to move from here to this G7. All right, well, once you nail that, then we're going back to C. Remember, it's a C with the 6-string bass, and we're going to pinch, then play the bass, and then pinch again for beat 4, and then just the bass over our C chord, again with the G in the lowest note. So now these two phrases together sound like this. So maybe that simple melody is not so simple when you try to add this, thumb picking thing, but hopefully this stripped down version of it will help get you there. But now we're going to keep going because the melody keeps going. We move into some picking over E. And to me, it's just as beautiful, and it takes you somewhere a little bit different. Let's unpack that. All right. This is a fun part to me. We've shifted into E, and we're going to do that same 6-string, 4th string picking. Go ahead and fret an E7 while you're here. So our bass is 6-string, 4th string, 6-string, 4th string throughout this E, and then when we move into F. I'm playing my F like this, hooking the thumb over to catch that F in the bass, but a bar chord works here as well. All right, now the melody. We're going to do what we did before, and for the first part of this, we're placing the melody on beats 1 and 3. That's just 2 open strings, open first strings. And then for the second measure, we've got 1 and 3. So we played 3 on the top string. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we shifted to the D note on the 2nd string, 3rd fret there. When we put that together in E, we've got this. Then we move into that F chord, and we're going to play with the 6th string and 2nd string. And again, bass is 6, 4, 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's something a little tricky. We snuck in the A note from the F chord, 3rd string, 2nd fret, right before beat 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Then we wrap this phrase up with more F picking. On our way to a big C chord to round out the melody. But let's make sure that we can get this part over E, E7 actually, and F down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That last note over the F chord where we climb up to D is great because we're just moving up the C major scale really from C to D to E. Only we're using the open first string. And that starts us out with the final phrase. It really kind of completes the thought that is that great melody of Freight Train. So let's move on to the final phrase here. So after our F chord part, we're moving back to C, and we're dropping that G, that low G in the bass, 6th string, just like we have before. Here, we're starting out with the melody kind of reaching that point in E on beat 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's 3, 4, 2nd string melody there, 1st fret. Then we open up to the open 2nd string along with the G, then open 4th string bass, and then you're going to want to move into that G7 shape here, play the D on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, along with the bass, and then bass on the 4th string, so we get that cool G7 sound here. All right, before finishing up on C, and the picking here is 5th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string. A more typical Travis picking pattern here over a C chord. The Those are the last two measures. And with that C, 2, 3, 4, just ringing out. 3, 4. This stripped down version is great to get you started, but to sound a bit more like Elizabeth Cotten, like the Pete Seeger recording in the late 50s, you'll need quite a bit more of picking. Elizabeth Cotten throws in a few more tricks throughout that tune that really make her performance really unique. We're going to unpack some of that filler picking that you heard there with a lot of eighth notes going on. And then I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite little something extras. You know, there's little spicy bits that are thrown in. This definitely levels things up a bit, but check out this picking with a lot more intricate finger picking over the part where we go to E7. So we've got a lot more notes there, right? We're pinching, then bass, and then on the end of 2, we're starting a hammer-on from the open 3rd string to the 1st fret, 3rd string that lands on beat 3. Then end of 3, we've kind of thrown off that D note, that spicy E7 note there. Then back to bass, and then we're plucking the G sharp, 1st fret, to end that measure. So just this measure has a lot going on in it. Then bass with the melody thrown off, syncopated a little bit. It's on the and of 1. It's not pinched with the bass. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just picking through the chords. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The part over F is pretty much the same with these busier measures. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely get that A note in there on the 3rd string, beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So basically the same. And then check out this part with a lot busier picking as we wrap up the melody here. The bones of this are really the same as before, but listen to how busy it gets. And we've got some really cool syncopated hammer-ons here. We start by pinching, then bass, and then throwing that C off to the and of 3 before coming back beat 4, and a 4. We start a hammer-on that lands on top of the next measure. And we keep that sort of rolling vibe happening by throwing that C off to the and of 1, open 4th, open 3rd, and then bass, open 2nd, and then here we're going to bring in that G7, but I don't necessarily want to change my fretting here. I don't have to. I've got a little finger that can come in and play that F note on the 4th string. Before landing down into C. But this is busier as well. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, easy. Right? So check out these last few measures to really get a sense of just how much these filler notes, the more intricate picking, add to the arrangement. But now Elizabeth Cotten throws in a few more tricks throughout her recorded version that makes her performance just so unique and so beautiful. Here are a couple of my favorites, and they both occur over the F chord part. The first one was a really cool walk up to the 4th fret on strings 4 and 3, which adds a lot of tension to me. And it's a great way to kind of chromatically walk up to that E that we're going for, the C of the next chord. And then we've got that super cool bend on the 3rd fret, that D note, 2nd string, where we bend up and work that into the F. Very, very cool. So many artists like Jerry Garcia, Chet Atkins, Peter, Paul, and Mary have brilliantly covered this song. Even the Beatles were known to cover this song back in their early days. And I'm partial to Elizabeth Cotten's original recording, but I love hearing just how far artists can take this simple melody. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite version of Freight Train is. If you like this lesson on Freight Train, a classic fingerpickers tune, and you want more, be sure to thank our sponsor, Black Mountain Picks. Cole and the team are all about thumb picking, and they continue to push new ideas. I'm super stoked about my brand new extra tension jazz-shaped pick. This is home. I love the other one. This one is home for me. This pick and everything that I've tried from Black Mountain is top quality in terms of build and super comfortable to play. Go check out Black Mountain Picks at the link in the description. And now, a little Freight Train, Tommy Emmanuel style, another one of my favorite arrangements. And if you want to keep learning, just click or tap right over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, practice smart and play on.